Morning team, how you doing? I hope this video finds you well. I hope this video finds you in good health today. May you have happiness, prosperity, and ease of being this day. I just got finished filming a guided meditation in which we focused attention entirely into the present moment, the here and now. We can even do this right now. Just focus on the sensations of breathing. There we go, we're bringing ourselves into the present. And then we watch for all of the subtle tricks of the mind. All of those little subtle plays of the mind that seemingly try to pull your attention away from the present moment and away from inner peace. We have more overt mind activity that we learn to spot quite quickly, and it's so obvious. So we sit down to go to meditate and bring ourselves to the present. The mind immediately says, but what about that email that you need to answer? Your boss sent you that email today, you need to answer that, you'll have to do that. You don't have time to meditate now because you know, right? That's how it, yap, 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 yap. The mind serves up a yappy meal, right? And you, with no toy. I'm in my Hanuman energy today, Dean. You'll have to bear with me. Focus, Corin. Present moment. So we have those overt sort of thoughts from the mind, images from the mind, emotions rising up. And we learn to spot those quite quickly. And in a way, because they're so obvious, they're fairly easy to disregard. Just not interested, not interested. But then we have those more subtle ones that come in. And these can be a little trickier to spot. And sometimes we're not even aware that it's happening. But it's worth introspecting deeply, being fully and totally aware of the inner world when meditating. Because what can happen is that it's like the mind kind of finds a little back gate and enters through the back gate. If we were to use the analogy of the mind like a computer system, the mind could be like a Trojan horse, as they call it. There's like a type of virus called a Trojan horse in which it pretends to be something else and then just subtly sits in the system. And, the best computer viruses are the same as viruses that are in the body as well. The best ones are the ones that hide away from the immune system, that hide away from the virus detection system on the computer. And they do it by just subtly, just so that you would barely even notice. You would barely even notice that it's there. But just like a virus in a computer, these little Trojan horses can get in, sit there subtly, and they slow the computer down because it's processing something that it's not even aware that it's processing. So these subtle plays of the mind are worth flushing out. And some of the trickier ones that we focused on in the meditation were ones like, you're sat in presence, focused entirely on the breath. Do this with me now. Just breathing, focusing on the sensations of breathing, allowing the breath to rise and fall. Just this. And the mind will say, yep, got it. We are focusing on the breath. Yep, we are focused, we are at peace. Breath focused on, perfect. Now what? What next? What's the next bit of this meditation? We're focusing on the breath. We're good Zen students. We are, yes, focused on the breath. Got it. And what's the next bit? We're ready. We're here. Good Zen soldiers prepared for the next bit. What's the next bit of the meditation? But we are fully at peace now, right? Do you see the trick there? Do you see the subtle trick? Because it's not about that. There is no now what. There is no next. In meditation, it's the letting go of all of that. It's just the here and now. We're not in control. We're letting go of that control. it can be very difficult to even describe what meditation is sometimes, because we always like to think of things like it's an activity, like it's an action. But when we sit to meditate, it's a letting go of action. You're not actually trying to do anything. The point is to try and do nothing. And then maybe a bit further down the line, you realize, well, that's kind of almost impossible in itself. And then you find yourself in getting the punchline of the wonderful cosmic joke, which is that you can't do something and you can't not do something, which could lead to despair or could lead to total liberation and freedom. It's your choice. So that's one of the subtle tricks right there. Yep, got it. We are at peace. What next? Right? We have to be vigilant. Vigilance is the price of peace, my brother. Vigilance is the price of peace, my sister. We must remain vigilant. Because that Zen soldier sat there right next to you going, yes, we are at peace. What next? That is the Trojan horse. And if you are not aware this is happening, your meditation won't be as deep, fulfilling, satisfying, and peaceful as it could be. Now, the Trojan horse that I really wanted to draw attention to today is this very subtle but at times very demoralizing thought of peace has been found. Oh, what a relief. Peace has been found, but what about later? What about when I'm out of meditation? What about when I'm at work? And there's a few things that I'd just like to just bring up into the full light of awareness in order to overcome that, reconcile that, come to peace with that, come to terms with that, whatever we want to say, really. Just drawing attention to it. Awareness is key, always. Because awareness, the moment awareness is on something, the moment whatever it is that we're dealing with is up into the light of awareness, awareness can do its job. You don't actually have to do a great deal. Awareness will take care of it. In exactly the same way that if there is that undetected virus in the system, the job of the doctor is actually just to bring the virus into the attention of your immune system. And then your immune system will take care of it. And you might get sick. But the symptoms of the sickness are actually the immune system doing its job. We'd rather be sick, because that's the immune system doing its job. And then it can flush the virus out. Obviously, we'd rather be well. The virus flushes it out. Same with the computer program. The moment the virus detection knows that there's an issue in the system, then it will do its job. So partly, the moment now that you're aware of this, the processing can happen and this can be flushed out. So the one that we're taking a deep look at here today is, I'm at peace, but what about later? There's a few things here. I still experience this. I'm just to be fully transparent, right? I'm just always trying to be fully as honest as I can. When coming into meditation, there's sometimes a kind of bittersweet feeling as you, I'm a bit, whew. And there's two kind of thoughts related to the past and the future. Because you think, let's say you do the meditation in the evening and come to peace, and you realize just how not at peace you've been throughout the whole day. That's kind of demoralizing in itself. I wish I'd thought to become present sooner. Because I'm sat here, I'm at peace now. And the one about the future is that, but I'm at peace now, but I just know that when I re-engage with activity, this peace will be lost. But here's the response to that. As always, the response is just to let go. Recognize that it's mind activity and it can be safely discarded there and then. Firstly, there is no next. And there is no previous. You only ever experience the present moment anyway. So continually, like a constant renewal, repeatedly returning to now. If I find peace and go, I wish I'd been at peace throughout the whole day, that's a thought about the past. The past doesn't actually exist. So let that go. Doesn't matter. Peace. That's it. Peace. 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 All is well. So the what about later thought can also be discarded because there is no later. This is a ghost trying to scare you about another ghost. Both are phantoms. Something to ensure that you remain heartened and optimistic about all of this, because that can be one of the most demoralizing thoughts. I'm at peace now, but that peace will be impossible later. That peace will be impossible when I'm at work later. Very demoralizing. It can really pull your batteries out. So it's a nasty feeling. Just being honest, it's a very nasty feeling. I wonder if that's why a lot of people don't bother with meditation. They'd rather just stay tightened up, stay unhappy, stay dissatisfied. Because if you start to feel at peace and satisfied, you then have to face the disappointment of recognizing, but I get satisfied and then dissatisfied. And there's a sort of back and forth, and people don't like to face that. They'd rather just stay dissatisfied. Strange. We live in prisons without doors. If you've noticed you're at peace, so this is how to stay heartened. If you've noticed you're at peace, that's beautiful. And so when the thought comes in, I am at peace now, but what about later? Don't focus on the what about later. Focus on the fact that you've just noticed you're at peace. What a remarkable discovery. How beautiful. How amazing, how auspicious, how wonderful is that? Knowing there are so many beings that never even have that glimmer of peace. It's like, whoa, I'm so grateful that I found this. And yes, the mind has given me the old yappy meal. Call it Ronald. The mind is saying, yeah, but what about later? Well, okay. At least we're in a position where we can recognize this now. At least we're in a position we can recognize this now. That's something. That's a sign you're progressing. That's a sign, a very clear sign. And don't discount this. This is powerful stuff. That's so powerful. You have your level of insight, your level of intuition, your level of introspection has come to that. Not only have you noticed that you're at peace, which is incredible, the most amazing victory. When a human being finds inner peace, 10,000 angels take notice. The gods take notice. When a human being finds true inner peace and serenity, in ways that are very difficult to describe, the entire universe celebrates. So the fact you've noticed peace is huge, and this tiny little thought comes in, well, what about later? But you've also noticed that. And the moment you've noticed that, the noticing of that can be integrated into the present moment. Just accept the thought. Why fight the thought? That would be like trying to fight the shadow of a cloud. On a sunny day, there's a shadow of a cloud approaching. And you might go, oh no, there's that shadow. It's about to get a bit nippy. It's been nice and hot. Now it's about to get nippy. Now that can be a little bit disappointing that the shadow's approaching, but it would be pretty foolish to build a wall to try and stop that shadow, right? Or to put boxing gloves on and go, right, don't worry about this shadow, everyone. I'm going to take care of this, and go in and start trying to, duck and weave hit it with a right hook. It's not going to work. It would be foolish. Like King Canute trying to hold back the tide. This is folly. You must recognize the futility of this endeavor, my brother. We must recognize the futility of that endeavor, my sister. We cannot fight these shadows. Just allow it to wash over. Don't fight the mind. Just let it be, and soon it will pass. It has to. It's just a shadow. So noticing at peace, that should be heartening. And the very fact that you became aware your mind did that, said, yeah, but what about later? That's powerful as well. Why? Because you saw what it was doing. You observed it. You observed it. You observed it. How is that possible? Because you are the observer of your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. So this demonstrates to you how far you've come in your meditation. Because there was a time you didn't know you were the observer of your thoughts, and you thought you were your thoughts. You were a slave to your thoughts. You were bound to your thoughts. Bound to them. And you sit down to meditate, 2 minutes in, you go, well, I'm at peace. And then the moment the mind says, yeah, but what about an email you've got to send? You get up, you stop your meditation, go, right, I'll just do this email, and then I'll go back to meditation. Okay, sent, awesome. And you go and sit back, right, time to meditate again. The mind goes, I think there was a spelling mistake on that email. You shouldn't have said it like, oh God, I've got to go check. Unsend, send it again. Okay, now we go to meditation. Yes, finding peace. Well, you're at peace now, but what about later? And you go, oh God, oh no, what am I going to do? Right? That was the early days. Whereas now, because you're able to watch it, it might be disappointing that the thoughts are still arising that pull you away from peace. It can be disappointing. Oh, not this again, really? But don't go to the frustration. Frustration is another thought. Stress is another thought. Just don't go to that. I'm at peace now, but what about later? Not interested. I'm at peace now. At peace, at peace, at peace, at peace, and all is well. Naturally, we'd rather get to the point where that voice doesn't come up. And to get to that, we just continually disengage whenever it pipes up. It's a liar. The mind is a compulsive liar. You've got to recognize the mind has got no problem with lying. The mind has got no problem at all with it. It has no qualms with lying. It's got no problem. It will lie to you all the livelong day. If you start treating your mind like that compulsive liar friend that you have, you don't, or associate, whatever, colleague that's constantly lying, you can tolerate it. Doesn't matter. You just have to see that, that Lamborghini they're going to buy, that amazing project they've got going on, that terrible thing that's happening to them. You just take everything with just a pinch of salt before getting too invested in their narrative, because you've learnt through hard-won lessons this being is very capable of lying, right? So disregard, disengage, and eventually it stops trying. Eventually. This may take a process, or we have to also let go of it and say, well, we don't need to wait for that to happen in order to be at peace. Just be at peace and let the mind do whatever. Eventually it will stop yapping, right? But don't wait for that to happen. Just leave it well alone. It's fine. It can yap as much as it wants. Eventually, it falls silent. Why? Because it's not getting your attention anymore. That's all it wants. It just wants your attention. Well, it doesn't work like that. You're in control now, not the mind. not the Maya. No, thank you. Not buying it, not buying it, not buying it. Not for a single second. It's a good mantra in itself. Not buying it. Not buying it. Not going to get involved in an argument. I'm just not buying it. Not today, thank you. I would also suggest, just final point here, which might seem slightly paradoxical to what I'm saying, but it's all good stuff. There is something good about that level of self-honesty. If you've recognized, well, yeah, okay, I am at peace now, but if I'm truly honest with myself, there is an element of, it is inevitable that when I go back to work tomorrow, it is inevitable that I will get lost in my narratives, in my ego, in my streams of thought. I just know that's going to happen. That's incredibly honest, so that's good. It would be better to be honest than to delude yourself into thinking you're Buddha now. You found inner peace. Ah, yes, good. I am now Eckhart Tolle. I am now Meister Eckhart. I am now Muji. I have done it. I am Ramana Maharshi now. And nothing will ever bother me ever again. Because that could happen, in which case, amazing work. But also, there could be an element of delusion in that too. So there's that self-honesty, but it's then what we do with that self-honesty. So we go, okay, so yes, I get the inner peace thing now. I'm at peace now, as presence now. And the mind's going to say, yeah, but what about later? Well, I'm not going to engage with that now. I'm just staying at peace because this is meditation. But there's an element of, okay, so there is an element of truth to that. When I go to work, the peace can be just lost. Again, awareness. Just awareness is key. Now, the crucial thing is to say, okay, firstly, this is why you continue your disciplined meditation, and you take your 10, 20 minutes every day, every morning, to sit in meditation, because that will just deepen presence and it will happen automatically. But until then, until that's fully established, just have a little plan. When you're at work and you feel stress and you've noticed you're lost in a train of thought, using the noticing that you've become lost in a train of thought as the anchor point to return to presence, return to the breath. And if you've been doing your meditations, if you've been earnest and sincere in your meditations, simply by returning to the breath, you bring the entire cosmos of inner peace immediately into whatever situation that you are in at work. You're stressed at work because the meeting's going badly, not going your way. Just notice, oh, there's tension in the body, stress in the mind, and return to presence. Now, in time, we will find that you start to make life decisions that prioritize peace. You might start looking at other ways of working that don't involve going to places that stress you out this much. You will choose to be in more peaceful relationships. You will choose to act in a more peaceful way with less conflict with the people around you, learning acceptance, learning gratitude, learning all of that good stuff. And eventually, your life circumstances and situation becomes conducive to this inner peace. Again, don't wait for that to happen. Just be at peace. It's the other way around. We're often trying to create life circumstances in order to be at peace. Doesn't work like that. It's the other way around. Find inner peace first, and then the world changes to reflect your inner world. That's the way around it works. I wish it wasn't that way, because it's the harder one, but that is the way it is. So get to it. I think that's everything today. So firstly, noticing inner peace. If you notice that you're at inner peace, it doesn't matter if the mind says, yeah, but what about later? Just disregard that thought. The fact that you've noticed you're at peace is massive. The fact that you've noticed that your mind is doing that is massive. Disregard, stay at peace during that meditation. Recognizing the value that there is some good self-honesty there. Paradoxical, I know, because the mind is a liar, but there's also that little bit of self-honesty there. So recognizing, okay, so then that's just good knowledge then, isn't it? I'm at peace right now, might not be at peace later. Well, I'm going to stay at peace now, and come what may later. There's no such thing as later. There's no such thing as the future. But also recognizing, well, I am fallible, and there will come a time that there's peace will be disturbed. So what am I going to do when that happens? I'm going to commit to finding peace again. Constant. Peace is priority number one. Return to peace, return to peace, return to peace. And eventually, your life situation and circumstances will change to reflect this. And then that mind with its yappy meal will be no longer. But don't wait for any of that to happen. Just stay present. Thank you so much for watching, team. Always appreciate it. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe on the way out. Always helps me out. And consider joining the old channel memberships, trying to get those memberships up a little. Very generous channel members supporting my work. I appreciate every single one of you. Have a blessed day. Take care. Be well and stay present.